It turns out that a third of those fatalities were due to people not buckling up. The road is closed off behind me. I am at the scene of the crime. I'm going to step out of the way to give you kind of a closer look of what's going on. It's starting at 10 a.m. and is set to last for 17 minutes in remembrance of the 17 lives that were lost in the Parkland, Florida shooting. Severe weather is sweeping across parts of Louisiana and Mississippi. This is a tornado caught on video by a storm chaser. We're using all types of adaptive equipment, such as this sit ski that I'm sitting on right now. But it wasn't just those with the Grand Junction Fire Department shopping for toys. But city, county, and state law enforcement were helping kids pick out presents for their family members. Not only did they have this opportunity to receive some serious cash, but it was also a way for them to receive school credit. And they've helped hundreds of families over the past 3 years, but this morning, they're asking you guys for your help. Those with AAA do expect summer gas prices to be just as high as they are now, but they won't increase as quickly. Oh, it's my baby Cleo, even though you wrote Chloe.
I didn't write Chloe, I meant to write Cleo. What did I write? I can't spell.
It's okay. That's Cleopatra. That's my baby. I had the chance to meet an inspiring man named Michael Chamberlain, who was born with a disability, but he says that's never stopped him from doing many things people thought he couldn't.
When I start thinking about doubts, I just turn it into a way that I can make it work.
Often in life, we tend to take things one step at a time.
We got to race. That was really fun.
But for others, those steps may require a lot more effort.
Michael's had kind of a hard life physically.
Michael Chamberlain was born with familial spastic paraparesis, also known as FSP, a genetic disorder similar to muscular dystrophy and cerebral palsy.
He wasn't meeting the milestones that he should have when he, like crawling or walking or any of those. So we took him in and they began to discover that there was something wrong with his muscles.
With my disability, I have muscle twitches throughout the day. I have pain throughout my body, and it really varies on the pain, but I get through it.
The disorder causes Michael to have very low muscle mass in his legs, and though he can walk short distances, he often relies on a Segway to get around.
But he has never let it get him down.
I basically look at it as a blessing. I don't take anything for granted, and I try everything at least once, and if I can't do it, I'll find a way to do it and make it fit for me.
It's a mentality that Michael has had ever since he was in elementary school, when he first began participating in adaptive sports.
He has bike raced, he has played basketball, he's been a part of Special Olympics, a part of Challenger, a part of Colorado Discoverability where he gets to ski. Those are all things that he wouldn't be able to do without those organizations.
We help with adaptive equipment for skiing, for biking, for rafting, so we're helping people with we're helping the disabled population all year round.
But it's not only about providing adaptive outdoor recreation tools for those with disabilities, it's also about increasing awareness.
Mesa County has about double the disabled population that the rest of Colorado does, about 18%.
By serving those with physical impairments, they hope to give them the same sense of freedom as anyone living without a disability.
When you're going down, it's basically like you're skiing, but you're sitting. And it's basically like an adrenaline rush, as the big-time skiers say.
And though his condition has made his legs weak,
it's really made him strong. It's made the rest of our family strong. I think he's kind of an inspiration to all of us.
Whether you're disabled or able-bodied, you can do anything as long as you have a positive mindset and you're willing to try to work for it.
So Michael will continue to work on living his life to the fullest, one step or one slope at a time. You may think running into a burning building,
we all know when we take the job there's a measure of danger in the things that we do,
is the #1 cause of death of firefighters.
I was diagnosed December 2nd, 2016. That day I'll never forget.
But for Captain Brian Shervney,
there's just no way to describe to anybody what goes through your mind at that particular moment.
His biggest threat in life was being diagnosed with cancer.
Am I now going to be able to return to my job? Am I going to be able to support my family during this?
But the thing he relies on to support his family may have actually contributed to the biggest scare of his life.
I really questioned whether I would ever make it back to being a captain again.
According to the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health, firefighters face a 9% increase in cancer diagnoses and a 14% increase in cancer-related deaths compared to the general population in the U.S.
Just what's in the fumes alone are several different gases that are known to cause cancer.
Having gear that was dirty and soiled and a helmet that was was kind of melted and burned and things. You know, those were a sign that you'd been in a hot fire.
So when Shervney found out he would be able to call himself a survivor,
I feel like I was one of the lucky ones.
he made it his mission to lead by example.
Once I got back, it was all right, guys, we're changing the way we do things.
A change that would soon turn into the everyday routine for those with the Grand Junction Fire Department.
We go through basically that a gross decon before we ever even get back in our trucks, and we get hosed down with our equipment that's on us.
And although old habits die hard,
Culturally, this was a change for us.
taking those preventative measures could mean the difference between life and death.
Wherever we can prevent things, wherever we can prevent anyone else having to go through this, we're going to do it.
We may not see an abundance of fruits and vegetables like we do during the summertime here in the Grand Valley, but the work of a grower is all year round. During the summertime, revenue pours in for farmer Bruce Talbot, manager at Talbot's Mountain Gold.
This is actually the crusher.
But when it comes to making money during the winter,
We don't. We just have to plan on an annual cycle, not a monthly or a weekly cycle.
but just because things tend to slow down doesn't mean they stop completely.
We do have to get a certain number of things done, and if we're going to plant in April when everything's happening fast, we really need to have the preparation done now
So that means all of their pruning has to be done through the winter.
so that we come in next year with healthy trees and healthy vines.
And the work never stops. And though the revenue may not pour in year-round for growers, for those running wineries, well, that's a different story.
With Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's and holiday parties, things like that, it's a huge time for business to sell wine.
However, everything grown here still does depend on the season.
We grow wine grapes and harvest them in September and October. As soon as that's over, we start making wines from that harvest.
But no matter what time of year it is, both say shopping local is always the best option.
For every dollar that someone buys retail in the Grand Valley, for example, buying a bottle of wine at retail, that generates about 5 times that value.
The key is to ask, read the boxes. The box has to say, needs to say where it is produced.
So even though the seasons change,
Right now, there are a few apples available. A lot of Colorado potatoes.
what's grown on this soil ultimately depends on those who continue to shop local. So even though these vines are dormant, preparation for the next season's crop is all year round. Reporting for News Channel 5, I'm Katerina Chryssafis.